Lots of athletic commissions have flat out banned the use of IV hydration. Commissions like, as an example, Government of Western Australia's Combat Sports Commission and UFC 284 took place in Perth under its jurisdiction. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So we have major developments in the IV scandal. Major. 3 major, actually, all in this video that I'm going to share with you. You have a statement from the UFC, you have a statement from Islam's team, which was subsequently taken down off of Twitter, and then you have a statement from an athletic board that changes everything. Everything, okay? Now, what's going to be interesting to see how all the parties involved handle this, because ultimately, what you have is a very gray situation. That's what I'm reading here, okay? Now, for me personally, when I look at a thing like this, I don't know how you guys look at these things, but if there is a genuine misunderstanding of a rule, that matters to me, right? Like, that matters. If a person knowingly cheats, like let's say hypothetically, you were going to go down to 125 from 135, and you were like, you know what would be great for me to fight this guy is if I just started firing up EPO. It's like, okay, that's just overt cheating, dude. Like, that's just absolutely as overt cheating as you could possibly get. If you're taking, if you're taking juice that's untraceable, that's obviously cheating, okay? But this one, IV rehydration, not only do I not agree that it should be a rule, and I'll talk about that in a second, but also there's this weird gray area about it. And now you're gonna see this is like really crazy. Like, in terms of, okay, they're saying this is saying this. Like, you guys tell me in the comments what you think this all means, because again, athletic board, UFC, Islam's team, all saying completely different things that all conflict with each other. Okay. So anyway, so let's just jump into it. I won't bore you guys with a big preamble here. If you want to help the channel, I genuinely appreciate it very much. Click subscribe, forget about it. And then like the video, comment. It's a huge help to me. That is how the channel grows, and I am incredibly grateful to you guys who do that, and to the guys who continue to watch my videos and support the channel. I love you guys. Okay, so basically, here's the deal. So you have the fight. You have Islam's team accused of giving him an IV by Volkanovski's team. Initially, it's just public. It's on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. So there's that. Then you have Islam's team, who is initially saying, at least, you know what? I don't even want to say that, actually. I don't know if I could say that Islam's team absolutely said he did not take an IV to rehydrate. But what they did say is that the injection mark that was on his arm in all those pictures was from the mandatory blood draw before the weight cut. We talked about this, right? So then you start getting all these messages online that are talking about how it actually is legal to IV rehydrate if it's administered by a nurse. So that starts going around. It's like, wait a minute, so maybe it's not even illegal, right? And then that brings you to this morning, right? Where people are still talking about all this and you don't really know what to make of any of it. It's like, well, if he did do it, is it illegal? Is he even denying it? And you have people very close to Islam who are saying he didn't do it. But people who I'm not sure if they were necessarily standing right next to him the entire time, they might not know. Now you get to today and you have the UFC come out and make a public statement saying that it actually is legal to IV rehydrate under certain circumstances. And they're obviously, the reason why they're saying this is they're like, we're not sanctioning Islam. It's okay. Like that's their, obviously, why else would the UFC be making a statement about it being okay about the IV rehydration, right? And just really quick, like, just to go on a very, very quick, short tangent about this, like, I understand why they did this rule, because you used to be able to do it. You used to be able to just IV rehydrate, right? You suck your body down to nothing, and then you step on the scale. Oh my God, I weigh 145 pounds. And then you go take an IV and you immediately get yourself rehydrated. And they made that illegal. Now, why did they make that illegal? Why? What was the purpose of making IV rehydration illegal? Obviously, it was to discourage against people doing super heavy, crazy weight cuts, right? So, do you guys think that ended up doing that? Do you think that people stopped rehydrating, or like stopped sucking themselves down because they couldn't IV rehydrate? You had a handful of people that did that, like a handful, very, very small group. Everyone else just kept doing the same thing and then just weren't as rehydrated when they would step into the cage. Now, this I have confirmed. I talked to multiple coaches about this yesterday. So, the purpose of the rule, it didn't even work. Not to mention, I'm just going to throw this out there. Anybody ever taken a saline bag? Okay. Raise your hand if you've ever taken an IV, like when you got the virus, as an example. Did any of you guys have someone come to your house and then give you like one of those wellness drips or whatever? Or have you just gotten saline at the hospital? It's not that complicated, dude. Like, it's really not that complicated. And I say that because how on earth would anyone ever know if you took an IV to rehydrate if you had someone on your team who just knows how to administer them? Okay. The answer is you would never know. They would never know. It's impossible. There's no way they would possibly ever know. So if it's me, and I'm not condoning cheating, but this rule is stupid. And if it were my fighter, I would learn how to administer IVs and I would IV rehydrate them myself in a hotel room. It's literally very simple. Boop, doop, boop. There you go. Now sit there and let your body get rehydrated. So anyway, it's neither here nor there. So the UFC tries to say that it's illegal under certain circumstances, whatever. But as I understand it, as everyone is saying, the rule is you could take 100 milliliters per 12 hours. Okay, that's the rule per Ariel Helwani. 100 milliliters per 12 hours, right? So I don't know if the UFC specified that in their statement, but that is the rule because I read it also. That's what Ariel says. Now, last night, Ali Abdelaziz put on Twitter that fighters under the UFC banner can take 2 to 3 liters of IV as long as it's done by a nurse or professional if the person is deemed to be dehydrated. So he put that up. I saw that go up. It's, now, like, in all honesty, if I didn't see it's already they obviously screen captured it and then put it all over. It's public now. But so that was taken down immediately. Now that would probably indicate that when he put that up, someone talked to him and was like, Ali, that's not accurate, dude. Like it's 100 milliliters per 12 hours or whatever. So he takes it down. So what does that tell you? Okay. What does that tell you? It tells you that if that is the case, that it's 100 milliliters per 12 hours, it means that these guys didn't understand the rule, that they didn't know. Because there's listen, I hear people say stuff about Ali all the time. I've never had anything but good dealings with him. And I will say this, though. He's obviously a very smart guy. If he put that up on Twitter, he obviously thought that was the rule. He's the manager, which means that he had probably talked to these guys. So in the event that he did take an IV, Islam, it's possible it was literally just a misunderstanding of the rule, right? Like what other reason would Ali have to put that up on Twitter unless he thought that's what the rule was, right? And so now you bring that into it also. It's a stupid rule to begin with, okay? It's the most easily juked rule of all time. And also, they thought it was allowed, which is why they got a nurse and probably had her administer if that is in fact what happened. But the biggest curveball to all of this, right? The biggest curveball to all of this is that, guess what? UFC makes a statement, hey, it's okay. Hey, it's fine, dude. It's totally fine. It's legal, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Guess who says it's not legal? According to Novinsky, Makhachev may have been required to ask permission and or disclose any IV use to a commission. But it actually goes deeper than that, okay? Lots of athletic commissions have flat out banned the use of IV hydration. Commissions like, as an example, Government of Western Australia's Combat Sports Commission and UFC 284 took place in Perth under its jurisdiction. So, that changes things. That changes things in a big way, right? Now, the good news, well, I'll tell you two things. Number one, as far as I understand it, if UFC fighters fight under a certain, sports commission, they're obviously bound to the rules of said sports commission. So if a commission in an area has a hard and fast rule against IV rehydration, you're not allowed to rehydrate by IV, I think, even if the UFC allows it. So that obviously is a big deal. And the reason why I know that, well, I wouldn't say no. The reason why I'm almost certain of that is because who caught TJ Dillashaw for the EPO? The New York State Athletic Board, not USADA. Now, I did see something online that Dirk Nowitzki said that they are the ones who actually administer these tests sometimes for the athletic boards. It's neither here nor there. I don't know. But the bottom line is this. They fought under this commission, and in this commission, IV rehydration is not allowed at all. Okay. Now, obviously, again, this is probably something they didn't know, which makes things super muddy. Who knows what's what? And they should just get rid of this rule anyway. But the bottom line is, the rest of that rule, the commission also prohibits the use of intravenous therapies, which are used for aiding rehydration from excessive and deliberate dehydration. Any promoter, trainer, or other person registered with the commission found to be encouraging the use of such methods will be sanctioned by the commission. Any contestant known to be using these methods will not be allowed to compete. Yikes, dude. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Not good. Not good, dude. So, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what you do with that, right? I don't know what you do with that, dude. I don't know what you do with that. But here's the good news. The good news for Islam's team, right? First of all, it's good news for everybody. This is good news for everybody. Okay? Nobody wants Volkanovski to win the title by disqualification. We all want to see that fight again, right? We all want to see the fight again, regardless. So, and in all honesty, I guarantee you Volkanovski would have, it was like, hey man, listen, Islam is asking if he could take an IV to rehydrate so he's in his best shape. Volkanovski's a savage. He would have been like, give him that IV, dude. Give it to him. I want the best Islam there is. Anyway, so here's the deal though, right? So in Ali Abdelaziz's tweet, let me read it actually, exactly what it says. It says, for all the idiots out there, any fighter under UFC banner could take 2 to 3 liters of IV as long as it's done by a nurse or a professional. And then he said something about exposing people, but bottom line is, you know what he didn't say? He didn't say that Islam did one. Okay? Now you could say that's an admission, but it's not. He's stating the rule. He's stating a rule that he apparently, all right, I mean, as far as I understand, might have misunderstood, but that tweet does not say that Islam did it, right? Now, again, I don't know why he would have put it up if Islam didn't do it, but he did. If we're talking about like court of law, it's like, well, so right there, did he say that Islam did it? Because, and the only reason that matters is because the UFC is obviously trying to make this go away, right? Why would the UFC come out and defend Islam and say he's allowed to do it if they're not trying to make it go away? The fact that it's illegal per the, commission that they were fighting under, not good. I don't know how that plays out. But anyway, that's what I got for today. I love you guys. I'll do other videos later. Peace.